Right now at 6, a plea of not guilty could move a Neosho County, Kansas murder case one step closer to trial.
And we've got another pretty chilly start out there. It'll be a little warmer later today and quite breezy. We'll go over those details with you in the forecast. Get you out the door coming up.
Plus, the Missouri Department of Conservation expresses a growing concern over timber theft.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now Thursday, October the 17th. Thank you for joining us here on this Thursday morning. We are that much closer to the weekend.
Which is always great.
Yeah, I am ready for a nap. I'm ready.
Go right ahead. Chris.
I just might. Well, our weather center, look, I am really short. You folks at home know this. I still run into people, though, that when they see me in person, they're like, you look a lot taller on TV. I'm like, it is the magic of television. But I can fit on the weather center to take a nap. It's not the comfiest place to do so.
Yes, he can. I've seen him.
But you can do it.
Yesterday.
Yeah, you can do it. And if you're looking to take a nap, it's going to be a great time. Maybe open the windows out there as well. Get some fresh air into the house, but not right this second. Let's start with a quick look outside downtown Pittsburgh. It's a bit too cold to open the windows right now, but later today, if you're at home, it will be. Looking pretty good. Clear skies out there. Same from our camera at 7th and range line. So what we'll do is we'll hop in our imaginary vehicle and drive down at record speed to the MoDOT camera at 20th and range line. Looks good too. Now we're going to transport over to Kansas. KDOT camera 69 East 520th Avenue. Looks great as well. And you know, we go through these cameras. We like to show you what things look like outside. When it gets to winter time, that's when this is really going to come in handy. We'll have multiple ways to show you that it's probably a better idea to stay home when it snows. We do have a frost advisory still continuing through 9 o'clock for Benton County out there. Then we have red flag warnings in Kansas. That's Coffee, Anderson, and Lynn counties. In Missouri, that's Bates County. But even if you're not under a red flag warning, outdoor burning is strongly discouraged for the next couple of days, honestly, because not only will it be windy today, it'll be windy tonight, it'll be windy tomorrow. So no clouds, no rain out there, but those south winds by through the morning will be picking up. Now in our northwestern counties, that's where it's going to be the strongest. Gusts could reach 40 miles an hour. For the rest of us, we're still looking on average about 75. No, that's not the winds. 25 to 30 mile an hour wind gusts out there. And again, we'll be a little warmer today, but still technically a little below average. 43 in Joplin right now. We're sitting at 37 in Pittsburgh. And around the region, temperatures for the most part upper 30s and low 40s. Again, the cold spot still at this point is Sedan, sitting at 32 degrees. For kids getting on the bus this morning, upper 30s, clear skies, south winds 5 to 10. It will not take long for those winds to start to pick up. Gusting again on average 25, 30 miles an hour. Still clear, about 67 when the bus brings them home. That's where our highs are headed today. Upper 60s, maybe even a couple of low 70s out there. So again, just a little below normal. By tomorrow, we go just a little above normal, and then we're going to go really above normal as we head into the next work week. We'll go over those details and, of course, that weekend forecast for you here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
Thanks, Chris. One day after a Southeast Kansas man pleads guilty in a murder case, his wife does the opposite. 23-year-old Dakota Patton was reported missing in April of last year. His body was discovered in a field in Neosho County, Kansas, the following month. According to court documents, Clint Nimbarger was the last known person to see Patton alive, arguing with him at a gas station over a woman. While Patton was missing, Nimbarger and Kimberly Thomas got married. They then traveled to Missouri for their honeymoon. That's where police arrested them both. Authorities originally charged both of them with first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder. Tuesday, Clint Nimbarger pled guilty to amend charges in Dakota Patton's shooting death. As part of his deal, the prosecutor is recommending Nimbarger receive a sentence of a little more than 24 years in prison. However, yesterday, the court entered a not guilty plea for Nimbarger's wife, Kimberly, meaning her case could end up in a jury trial. Well, just after 3 p.m. yesterday, a recycling center near the Rogers Municipal Airport caught fire. The fire quickly spread throughout the complex despite dozens of units and firefighters responding from all over the area. The plume of smoke could be seen in Neosho, Eureka Springs, Knoll, and Fayetteville. McDonald County, Missouri Emergency Management say the smoke is floating into Missouri. The fire is mostly burning cardboard and pallets. There are no known injuries at this time, and you can visit our website for more information as it becomes available, KOAMnewsnow.com. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. The Missouri Department of Conservation expresses a growing concern about timber theft. Now, the theft specifically relates to black walnut trees. The tree is harvested illegally from either someone's property or a public area and then sold to a lumberyard or sawmill. The department says not only is this illegal, it can also be heartbreaking for property owners.
You got to think about what you're taking. Trees are special to people for a lot of reasons. The walnut tree could be special because they like to pick walnuts, maybe because it's a property barrier, or just maybe because it's an old, mature tree that has a lot of meaning to this family. So when somebody cuts down that tree and takes it off, that tree is gone.
Missouri Walnut, a local American-owned lumberyard in Neosho, says they fully cooperate with local and federal law enforcement to help make sure that any person who may be suspected of timber theft can be identified. Well, the Joplin Humane Society is currently not able to accept dogs as its overcapacity. Now, the city of Joplin says if someone else sees a stray dog, they can call the Joplin Health Department and Animal Control.
Let us know. There's a possibility that we may know where that dog lives. If the animal has a collar on it, if they could contact the owner of that animal.
The city also encourages people who are looking for a pet to adopt. Well, an area business has jumped in to help the Joplin Humane Society during this difficult time. Now, Ridgeline Roofing and Solar will host its second annual chili cook-off. The event takes place October 25th from 11 to 1 at 1710 East 32nd Street. Contestants can enter for $20 and tasters and judges can enter for $10. There are prizes and bragging rights on the line. All proceeds will go to benefit the Joplin Humane Society. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes coming up on the KOAM Morning News. SpaceX is suing California regulator claiming its launches were blocked because of Elon Musk's politics. Plus, Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump continue to try to win over undecided voters. And Chris Warner returns with another look at your Thursday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from the Coal Valley Pumpkin Patch located in Weir, Kansas. Topping Nation Watch this morning. Singer Liam Payne has died after falling from the third floor of a Buenos Aires hotel yesterday. The former member of boy band One Direction was 31 years old. Staff at the hotel had called 911 to request urgent police assistance shortly before Payne's fall, according to a local affiliate, Todo Noticias. Well, the hotel manager was heard on the call saying there was a guest tearing the whole room apart, and the manager described the guest as being overwhelmed with drugs and alcohol. Authorities are investigating the circumstances of Payne's death, and they will conduct an autopsy. Well, SpaceX is suing a California regulator for alleged political bias against Elon Musk. The California Coastal Commission voted last week to block SpaceX from conducting more launches at Vandenberg Space Force Base. The commission oversees development and environmental protection of the state's coastline. The lawsuit alleges that during the meeting, the commissioners, quote, raised other concerns wholly unrelated to coastal effects. Now, the complaint also claims the commissioners cited Musk's conspiratorial comments on social media. SpaceX says the commission violated Musk's right to free speech and had overstepped its authority. The company also claims launches at the base are federally regulated activities and is not subject to the approval of state regulators. Well, Lyft is offering 50% off rides to the polling station on Election Day as part of its voting access program. The rideshare app says people without cars are less likely to vote. According to a report released Wednesday by Lyft, a 1-mile increase in distance to a polling site can reduce voter turnout by 20%. The longest drives to a polling site average 5.8 miles in Texas. Now, Lyft users can take advantage of the discount by preloading the code VOTE24 into their app until November 5th. Well, Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump continued on their media blitz Wednesday as they try to win over undecided voters. Now, yesterday, Harris targeted Republicans and independents, while Trump targeted women and Latino voters. Jared Hill has more from New York.
Vice President Kamala Harris spent Wednesday reaching across the political divide.
No matter who you voted for last time, there is a place for you in this campaign.
Appearing alongside more than 100 Republicans at a rally in suburban Pennsylvania ahead of a rare sit-down with Fox News.
We have a broken immigration system that needs to be repaired.
So your Homeland Security Secretary said that 85% of apprehensions.
I'm not finished.
In the sometimes contentious interview, Harris said her administration would not be a continuation of President Biden's.
I represent a new generation of leadership.
And she slammed former President Donald Trump's rhetoric.
You and I both know that he has talked about turning the American military on the American people.
I think she's harmed our country horribly.
At a Univision town hall, Trump took questions from undecided Latino voters on issues like his proposal for mass deportations.
We want workers and we want them to come in, but they have to come in legally. They have to love our country.
He doubled down on spreading misinformation about Haitian migrants living in Ohio.
I was just saying what was reported.
And defended January 6th.
That was a day of love.
Trump also made this claim at a town hall on Fox with women voters.
I'm the father of IVF.
Which Harris later called bizarre.
The reality is his actions have been very harmful to women and families in America on this issue.
Today, both are back on the campaign trail with just 19 days until Election Day. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Now tonight, former President Trump is set to appear at the annual All Smith Charity Dinner in New York, which has been a tradition for presidential candidates. But Vice President Harris has decided to skip it. Instead, she's campaigning in Wisconsin today. And that's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we're going to start with the Skywatch Storm Tracker, which is void of any precipitation or clouds out there. And you can see there's nothing within our immediate region. Clear skies as we start this day from our camera at 7th and Rangeline. We're going to be breezy and temperatures still a bit below normal for many of us. We'll have another full look at your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Well, a 100-year-old Missouri time capsule has been opened at the National World War I Museum and Memorial in Kansas City. Now history is being made again by adding more history from 1924. Joe Hennessy reports.
We were kind of like, kids in a candy store.
This is every historian's dream, that you would be able to open a time capsule like this and that actually survived. What a wonderful thing that is, that tells stories from the past.
History is made at the World War I Museum and Memorial by way of adding more history. Relics from 1924 are now unveiled to the public after being buried into the walls of the tower when it was being constructed.
They wanted generations to come to remember them and remember what was sacrificed for the cause of democracy that the Americans went to serve.
Parade to 1,000. The American Legion, 60,000 strong.
The staff had already opened the capsule, seeing what was inside. But Wednesday morning, we all got a chance to see what those 100 years ago wanted to keep a secret.
I think that they wanted to know how hard it was back then. The seeds were very unexpected. I really can't wait what we're going to do with them. Maybe we'll plant them and it'll come out to be something beautiful.
And to continue making history, the museum and memorial staff will be compiling items to put into another capsule that will be opened 100 years from now.
We really want the Kansas City community to be involved. So if you go to our website, you can give suggestions, the types of things that are important to you, to our community, to put in that time capsule for people 100 years from now.
Well, some suggestions from the students for the new time capsule include handwritten letters and drawings. Many also suggest Kansas City Chiefs or MLB Royals gear will most likely be in the mix of 2024 relics. Now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got clear skies to start and cool temperatures. We're going to warm up a little today and be quite windy. Look at that forecast when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 6:22 now on this Thursday morning. Again, quick reminder, frost advisory Benton County will continue until 9 o'clock this morning. And then we're going to start to see the winds kick in, temperatures go up just a bit today, but even more so tomorrow. We're going to be dealing with south winds out there, for most of us gusting about 25-30 miles an hour. However, in northwestern parts of our viewing area, those winds could gust higher, upwards of 40 miles an hour. Otherwise, skies today are clear, no rain, no cloud cover. It is very dry, which again is why no burning across the region. Do not do it. Do not even think about doing it. You need to wait a little while before you consider any outdoor burning, because here's the other side of this. The winds will still be gusty overnight tonight and into our Friday as well. Now by Friday though, temperatures are starting to warm. So today we're going to be a little below normal. Tomorrow we're going to be at or a little above normal. And then we get into Saturday, and that's when things change. Now for the parade, for the Maple Leaf Parade in Carthage, again, just be prepared. It could be a bit chilly, upper 40s, low 50s to start the day, but then we'll start to warm up. So again, if you're doing anything after the parade, if you're going up to the square or doing any of the other events going on Saturday, make sure you are prepared appropriately for that, because we will be warmer Saturday afternoon than we'll be the next today and tomorrow. So just keep that in mind. Here's a look at those winds. This is what we're talking about. We have a northwestern zone. Now, I had mentioned Chanute, Iola, Yates Center, Fredonia, Burlington, but in all honesty, maybe even as far down as, say, Fort Scott, just to the southeast of Chanute, Independence, Sedan as well, is where the greater chances for wind gusts upwards of 40 will be. On average, though, the majority of us outside of that are going to see those gusts upwards of 25 to 30. Here we are at midnight. Take a look at Yates Center and Iola, close to, if not at 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And as I mentioned, sticks around overnight tonight, and then the winds will really ramp back up again tomorrow. And in that same northwestern zone, that's where the better chances of those very gusty winds are. We do have red flag warnings in Kansas for Anderson, Coffee, and Lynn counties. In Missouri, that's for Bates County. But again, even if you're not under a red flag warning, definitely do not recommend any outdoor burning whatsoever over the next few days, because it's too dry and it's going to be too windy. 43 in Joplin, feels like 38 with a south breeze at about 9 miles an hour. Sedan still looking to be the cold spot at 32 degrees this morning. The majority of us, though, into the upper 30s and low 40s as we get our Thursday underway. Sunny skies out there. Winds will start picking up through the morning, upper 30s to start. Mid to upper 50s by 11 o'clock. Today, again, highs a bit below normal, upper 60s, maybe even a couple of low 70s. Then we'll be at or a little above normal for our Friday into the mid 70s. Upper 70s into the weekend, getting close to 80. Those rain chances Monday still there, which is great news because we need some kind of rain. And then as we head through the rest of next week, maybe a stray shower or storm on Thursday. And temperatures flirting with the 80-degree mark out there. We could see some upper 70s and low 80s. That's checking your forecast. Now we're sending it over to Elise with Health Watch.
Chris, thanks. Well, which is healthier, standing or sitting? Well, a new study suggests there are pros and cons to both. The University of Sydney found standing instead of sitting does not improve cardiovascular health and could actually increase circulatory issues. But they also found sitting for long periods isn't healthy either. Overall, getting physical activity is the key. Women are more likely than men to die due to complications after a heart surgery. A study by the University of Michigan found while the rate of complications following an operation are the same among men and women, women were about 2% more likely to die from those complications. Now, the authors say signs of heart attack and stroke are missed more often in women. And a team in Japan says they found a way to make mRNA vaccines faster. mRNA vaccines were critical during the COVID pandemic, but since they are partly synthesized using enzymes, making them can be a slow process. Now, researchers say they can fully chemically synthesize mRNA, skipping the enzyme process. The hope is that the findings could help in developing a vaccine quickly during the next global pandemic. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, some students serve up a Hispanic food day at the Carthage Junior High School.
And it's another chilly start out there. Not as cold as yesterday morning, but still cool. And it's not going to be terribly warm today, but it will be warmer. Look at that forecast get you out the doors coming up.
Plus, congressional candidates for the 2nd District of Kansas discuss their views on election integrity.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:29. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is Thursday, October the 17th. Thank you all for joining us. And here we are. Hopefully you're inside where it's a little warmer this morning.
Oh,
it's not as cold in here as it was yesterday.
Yesterday, it was freezing in here.
I think it's just because it was so cold outside, it made it even colder in here, but not so much today. And it's going to be a little warmer this afternoon as well, but it's also going to be a lot windier. We'll talk about all that here in just a moment. But first, we're going to take a look outside from our camera in downtown Pittsburgh. Skies are looking clear out there as we get this Thursday underway. Same from our camera at 7th and Rangeline in Joplin. We'll head down to the MoDOT camera at 20th and Rangeline. Again, it's clear skies. A few more folks on the way, or on the road rather, getting their day started. Probably with the heat on again. And from the KDOT camera, 69 East 520th Avenue, also looking pretty good as folks get this Thursday morning started. Quick reminder again, we have the frost advisory in Benton County, and that will run through 9 o'clock this morning. Then we have red flag warnings through 7 this evening. In Kansas, that's Anderson, Coffee, and Lynn counties, and in Missouri, that includes Bates County. But even if you're not under a red flag warning, it does not mean it's safer to burn outside of those zones. Outdoor burning is strongly discouraged across the entire area today, as we're going to be dry. The air is going to be dry. The ground is already very dry. We're going to have south winds for most of us gusting upwards of 25 to 30 miles an hour, but you get from Fort Scott, Parsons, Coffeyville, points northwest, those winds today could gust upwards of 40 miles an hour. The other issue with the winds is it will still be breezy as we go into the evening, overnight, and Friday. The last couple of windy days we've had, the winds have eased up at night. Not going to be the case this time, so do keep that in mind. Sitting at 43 in Joplin, 37 in Pittsburgh, and temperatures around the region for the most part upper 30s and low 40s. We still have Sedan as the cold spot, sitting at 32 degrees this morning. As kids get on the bus, a coat, a jacket, something to keep them warm is absolutely going to be necessary. We're talking upper 30s, clear skies, south winds 5 to 10. So we go through the morning, of course, those winds will begin to pick up out of the south, averaging 10 to 15 miles an hour. Those gusts 25 to 30. And as we mentioned, our northwestern counties pushing 40. Clear skies, though, 67 when the bus brings them home. That's where we're on course for our highs today, into the upper 60s, maybe a couple of low 70s out there, but still just a little below average. By tomorrow, we're going to be at or a little above normal. By the weekend and next week, we're going to be a lot above normal. And we still have some rain chances, too. Talk about all that in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, see you soon, Chris. Well, as the outside temperature drops, so does your tire inflation pressure. So make sure each tire is filled to the vehicle manufacturer's recommended inflation pressure, which is in your owner's manual and on a label located on the driver's side door frame.
Common thing that we don't think of is the air inside the tires. So over time, is just with each 10 degrees it tends to drop, you can naturally lose 1 to 2 psi. So frequently air checking them is going to maintain right even wear, keep your tires safe and performing like they should.
You don't want to inflate your tires to the pressure listed on the tire itself. That number is the maximum pressure the tire can hold, not the recommended pressure for your vehicle. And don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Well, Election Day is less than 3 weeks away, but voters still have time to learn more about the candidates running for office in their areas. 2 candidates are running for U.S. Congress in the 2nd District of Kansas, Republican Derek Schmidt and Democrat Nancy Boyda. KOAM sat down with both candidates to learn about their positions on everything from the economy to abortion to immigration. We also asked them about their level of confidence in election integrity.
There are states I'm not as confident in. An example of that is Pennsylvania, which was certainly in the crosshairs in this last presidential election. And so I do worry a bit about some of those states.
So it's the hard work of rebuilding trust. And I believe that the legal system, if we look at everything that's gone through the courts, we have seen that there has been allegation after allegation. And this is why the 10 Commandments say, if you bear false witness, things are never going to go well.
You can check out these interviews in their entirety on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com/elections. Well, some students at the Carthage Junior High School got to sink their teeth into a tasty event yesterday. Hispanic Food Day gives students of Hispanic and Latino heritage the opportunity to bring in and share their favorite dish. The event also serves up a good time for the kids who get to see their teachers outside of the usual classroom setting. One teacher expressed his love for the event.
Those who are my students who are Hispanic, they get to share their culture with those who aren't, and that's why I like to just mesh those two together.
I think today I feel like it's really good, and just the meaning behind it and everything. I love it.
Now, Larry Brooks, also known as Senor Brooks, to his students teaches 7th and 8th grade exploratory Spanish at the junior high. Well, this year's Make Believe Festival continued on in Carthage last night with the annual Night of Praise. The event featured live music performances with support from local Christian radio stations.
I believe it's time for the church to unite, to be one voice. We were created to be one church. And I know we have differences and different styles, but tonight is just about us being one, and that's the goal. And the goal is to sing and to worship God. It's happened in the Old Testament, the New Testament. It's the heart of God for his people to come together as one and to worship God.
Now, this is the 58th year for the Carthage Maple Leaf Festival, and at least the 20th year the festival has featured a night of praise. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. A new study found that 1/3 of common household products have shrunk in size, also known as shrinkflation. And we have a mild and sunny day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Sky Watch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from the Coal Valley Pumpkin Patch located in Weir, Kansas. In Consumer Watch this morning, well, it's well known a helmet can save a motorcycle rider's life in a crash. A new analysis looks at just how many lives could have been saved if more people wore helmets. Chris Van Cleve reports.
Stephen Buckner loved taking his motorcycle on long trips, but it was during a short ride home from work last year when he crashed trying to avoid a pothole.
I kind of just lost control. The bike fell on top of me, probably slid maybe like 10 yards down the road.
Buckner was rushed to the hospital with cuts and a broken ankle, but his head was fine thanks to his helmet.
I'm definitely fortunate that I have my helmet on. I swear by it.
He chooses to wear a helmet, although in Ohio, where he lives, the law only requires riders under 18 years old to wear one. In other states, it's under 21. In fact, only 17 states and Washington, D.C. have laws making it mandatory for riders of all ages to wear helmets.
Helmets cut the risk of fatality in crashes by 37%, and it cuts the risk of traumatic brain injury by 2/3.
Eric Teo from the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety says there were more than 193,000 motorcycle deaths from 1976 to 2022. In a new report, IIHS estimates more than 22,000 lives could have been saved if every state required all riders to wear a helmet.
Helmet laws that cover all riders, not just ones of certain ages, are the most effective way to increase helmet use.
Buckner, a father of 4, credits his helmet for saving his life.
I tell people all the time, my helmet, it did more than just save me. It saved a husband, it saved a father.
IIHS found in states with all rider laws, helmet use was typically 2 to 3 times higher than in states without those laws. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Mesa, Arizona.
Well, a new study from finance firm LendingTree found that a third of common household products have shrunk in size, a practice known as shrinkflation. The analysis showed that household paper products had the highest rate of shrinkflation, followed by breakfast foods such as dry cereals and then candy and snack foods. In its most recent earnings call, food and beverage giant PepsiCo says it plans to add 20% more product to its chip brands, including Tostitos and Ruffles. Well, the Federal Trade Commission has issued what it calls the click-to-cancel rule, which requires businesses to make it as easy to cancel a subscription as it is to sign up. Now, companies will also have to get consent for auto renewal plans and free trials that automatically become paid memberships. The rule won't take effect until 180 days after it's published in the Federal Registry. And Disney theme parks in California and Florida have unveiled a new pricier pass to make skipping the line easier for a hefty fee. The Lightning Lane Premier Pass will let people skip the line for dozens of popular rides and attractions without booking ahead. Now, the pass launches next week with prices ranging from $129 to $449 plus the cost of your ticket. And that's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Yeah, if you haven't stepped outside just yet, I'll tell you right now, it is a bit on the cold side. We are looking live from our camera downtown Pittsburgh, starting to get some daylight out there on this Thursday morning. It is a chilly one, although it looks very nice across the region. Our camera at 7th and Rangeline also showing clear skies. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline, clear skies. A few more folks on the roadway getting their day started. And we'll head over to the KDOT camera 69 East 520th Avenue, of course, just south of Pittsburgh, also looking pretty good this morning. We have that frost advisory in Benton County that'll continue through 9 a.m. And then again, we have the red flag warnings in Kansas, Anderson, Coffee, and Lane counties. In Missouri, it's Bates County. But even if you're not under a red flag warning, absolutely no outdoor burning. It is going to be very dry today. The ground is already extraordinarily dry, and it is not going to be safe to do that for the next several days. And we're going to have south winds today. Most of us, they'll be gusting 25 to about 30, but for Fort Scott, Parsons, Coffeyville, Bartlesville, we'll draw this line here and points northwest. Could see those winds gusting upwards of 40 miles an hour. Our temperatures today are going to be warmer than yesterday, but still at or a little below average as we head into the afternoon. And I know the last couple of windy days we've had, the winds have subsided late evening and overnight. Not going to be the case tonight. It'll still be breezy tonight and into our Friday as well. We're sitting at 43 in Joplin, 36 in Pittsburgh and around the region. Temperatures for the most part upper 30s and low 40s, and still scanning and still looking at Sedan as the cold spot sitting at 32. Kids getting on the bus this morning, they're definitely going to want that jacket. Upper 30s, clear skies, south winds 5 to 10. And as the morning progresses, it won't take long for those winds to pick up. 10 to 15 gusts, again 25, 30 for most of us. And our northwestern counties could reach 40, the upper 60s by the time the bus brings them home. It's just about time to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries. We're going to do that in a moment, as well as have another full look at your forecast. But first, here's what's happening on CBS Mornings.
I'm Tony DeCopel. Coming up on CBS Mornings, the multi-talented actor and singer Naomi Scott's going to join us to talk about starring in the new horror movie Smile 2. Also, Jamie Yuccas catches up with the star and co-creator of the CBS hit Fire Country ahead of its season 3 premiere. That is coming up on CBS Mornings.
Time for some Thursday birthdays in the 4 states. We're going to start with Hudley Duncan celebrating big number 1. It says happy birthday from Mom and Dad.
And over in Columbus, a happy 11th birthday to Samuel King.
And in Chanute, Ethan Henry celebrating birthday number 21. Says he's part of Chanute American Legion Post 170 Honor Guard since he was 7 years old. Happy birthday, Ethan.
And a happy 34th birthday to Michael Castle.
And we've got Brent Thornton. Looks like we had them backwards on the pictures there, so that's all right. You saw You saw Brett Thornton just a moment ago. He's also celebrating number 34 there. And we have Michael Castle. This is Michael celebrating 34 as well. And we've also got PJ Eli celebrating birthday number 51. See, PJ hasn't aged a day since he was in his early 20s. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. And over in Pittsburgh, happy 70th birthday to Diana Polston.
And in Nevada, Austin and Haley Pike are celebrating their first wedding anniversary. The first of, I'm sure, many to come. A very happy anniversary to the Pikes.
And over in Columbus, a happy birthday to Sharon Birch.
All right. Great list of birthdays, anniversaries. If you would like to partake in this celebration, what do they need to do, Elise?
Yes, go ahead and submit your birthdays and anniversaries to birthdays at KOAMNewsNow.com. Be sure to include those photos and messages, and to, of course, meet the deadline that you see there at the bottom of your screen.
And of course, it is very important to meet that deadline that you see at the bottom of your screen. Make sure your celebration is at the right time. All right. I want to take a look at these sunrise shots that we have. We've got a couple of good ones here. First, from our camera in downtown Pittsburgh. Just look at that. This is absolutely beautiful. It's cold. You don't want to look at it from outside necessarily unless you're bundled up, but it looks great. We'll head to our camera at 7th and Rangeline. Another great shot of that sunrise as we get this Thursday morning underway. We'll take a look at some traffic cameras as well. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline. Looks good. Folks are, well, the two cars we've seen moving right along, more cars back behind them, and they're moving right along. Same from the KDOT camera in 69 and Kansas Crossing, and we'll also head over to the KDOT camera just north of this one at East 520th Avenue. We've got a line of vehicles coming through, but the important thing again is they're moving. They're all in motion. So if they're stopped, that's when it becomes a bit of a problem. So great start to the day, albeit a bit cold. Cold enough that at least Benton County in Arkansas still has a frost advisory, and that will continue through 9 o'clock this morning. And then we'll start to warm up a bit today. Still be below normal for most of us, but it'll be a little warmer than where we were yesterday afternoon. We're also going to have to contend with the wind. I really want to emphasize the wind. I know we've been talking about, but seriously, no outdoor burning. I cannot stress that enough. It's not worth it. It is dangerous for your property. It's dangerous for your neighbor's property, and it can wait. All right, it can wait. It does not need to be done on days where we've got conditions where fire situation could be dangerous out there. And the reason it's going to be even more dangerous today is not just because the air is dry and the ground is dry, but we're going to have south winds pushing 10, 20 miles an hour sustained, gusts anywhere from 25 to 40 miles an hour across the region. We'll take a look at those winds in a moment. As we head into today, though, again, a little bit warmer, breezy, no clouds, no rainfall out there. Now, unlike the last couple of windy days we've had, those winds will continue to be gusty overnight tonight. They ease up a bit, gusts 20 to 30 miles an hour, and then they'll ramp right back up again out of the south as we head into our Friday. And so that's why, again, just no outdoor burning. Don't do it. It's not necessary. You can wait a few days for things to calm back down a bit. But otherwise, yeah, breezy. We go into Friday, just a few clouds here and there. Otherwise, warmer, still sunny, still breezy across the region as well. I wanted to take a moment and talk about those winds. So this is a very crudely drawn line here, but Fort Scott to Parsons, Independence, Bartlesville, and points north and west of that is where the opportunity today, tonight, tomorrow is going to be for winds to reach upwards of 40 miles an hour in those gusts. If you're southeast of that point, we're looking at the winds still gusting 25, 30 miles an hour, and it will continue to do that, as I mentioned, into our Friday. And so we do have red flag warnings. Parts of Kansas and Missouri, and these run until 7 o'clock this evening. A very quick look at temperatures. Again, great shot of that sunrise in Joplin. 43 feels like 38 in Joplin with the south breeze at about 9 miles an hour. Around the area, Sedan still the cold spot at 32. The rest of us, for the most part, upper 30s, low 40s. We'll be starting the day in the upper 30s. Clear skies, winds pick up through the morning, mid to upper 50s by 11. We're going to have another look at your forecast, plus the news you need to know in just a moment. And when we transition to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., we're going to see how a neglected pony from Nebraska is getting a new start with an animal rescue.
And here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. One day after Clint Nimbarger pleads guilty in a murder case, his wife does the opposite. 23-year-old Dakota Patton was reported missing in April of last year, and his body was later discovered in a field in Neosho County, Kansas. Now, Tuesday, Clint Nimbarger pled guilty to amend charges in Dakota Patton's shooting death. Yesterday, the court entered a not guilty plea for Nimbarger's wife, Kimberly, meaning her case could end up in a jury trial. Well, the Pittsburgh Police Department will host a site for the National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day. The event, which takes place October 26th from 10 to 2, is a way to help people easily get rid of medications. Now, the Pitt PD will only collect solid forms of prescription medications. If you would like to learn more, you can visit our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. And the Joplin Humane Society is currently not able to accept dogs as it's overcapacity. The city of Joplin says if someone sees a stray dog, they can call the Joplin Health Department and Animal Control. The city also encourages people who are looking for a pet to adopt. And that's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And as you head out the door this morning, it is going to be chilly to start and a little warmer today, but breezy. Again, no outdoor burning, winds gusting anywhere from 25 to 40 miles an hour with our highs upper 60s, maybe even a couple of low 70s out there. Breezy conditions continue through the evening and into the overnight. We'll fall back into the mid to upper 40s. It'll be windy just like today, tomorrow as well. Mid 70s though. And for the Maple Leaf Parade, a chilly start, upper 40s, low 50s, warmer by the afternoon, pushing close to 80 by Sunday, rain chances Monday, and then we kind of bounce around with the upper 70s and low 80s next week.
All righty. Well, coming up today at noon, we're making quick lasagna toss in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Because it's pasta day.
Yes.
All right. And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, there was plenty of excitement in Washington, D.C. as the Smithsonian Zoo received 2 new guests all the way from China.
Plus, cast members from Pittsburgh Community Theater join us in the studio with an invitation to their production of A Few Good Men this weekend. You can't handle the truth. That's going to wrap it up for us for now, though. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.